Welcome to the Retro Blood.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Retro Blood.
Oh, yeah.
As we start off a brand new month, here in the month of love, here in the month of red, here in the month of roses, here in the month of chocolate giving to your significant partner, here in the month of talking all things bloody, all things romantic, all things seductive, because the Retro Blood is doing its third annual Vampire Month. 1980s plus one 1990s vampire movie. Here, all right. I believe this is the third.
I was going to ask. So we've done three of these. We've done these 3 years in a row.
I believe three years. Yeah, our first year we didn't do the vampire movies in our first year here, but the last 3 years we've been doing these vampire movies on here. So we got a lot of connection ones. And up first for this month, it's a companion piece to a review that we did in February 25th of 2024.
Yeah.
This is the sequel here to Jerry biting off his apple. The sequel to Charlie finally finishing up his car and not pissing it off like it did, in the first movie. This is the sequel where we got that Marcy from Married with Children. She's out of here, brother. We got some new broad on here. And the sequel where we upgraded from Jerry's creepiness to some hot sister that he had doing her hot sister vampire stuff that might have got me going a little bit, if you know what I'm talking about. All right, because the Retro Blood.
Oh, I know.
Oh, you know, brother.
I know.
I think every heterosexual man knows what I'm talking about, brother. All right, because we are talking about Fright Night 2. That's right. We're here. Finally, 2 years later, we finally did the sequel to the movie that we reviewed 2 years ago.
I know. It's kind of crazy.
J.H. Alison, James Kline, what's happening, Alison? How was your getting seduced by a hot vampire chick who would go on TV and do all these sexy dances and have blood spurting out of her mouth? How'd that go for you?
That always goes well for me.
Exactly. You can't beat that, man.
Yeah, there's nothing better than that. So I'd never seen this before.
Me either. Yeah, I thought it was pretty good though.
I was pleasantly surprised at how good this was. Apparently, it's very hard to find. That's why we watched it on the YouTube.
Yeah, on the YouTube. Apparently, it doesn't really have like any streaming places and platforms. The only one you can find is the Fright Night 2, the remake one.
Which I'm sure is terrible.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I never seen them. But I heard they don't really they don't match up to what the spirit of the original ones are. All right.
Right. But
you can only find on YouTube, but there's supposed to be a Blu-ray release of them somewhere out there. And of course there's the European copies of this movie where you can find on physical media. But I always we're waiting for maybe the double header steelbook collection or something.
Yeah. Hopefully. Synapse is putting out a version of it this year because apparently they released it on DVD or Blu-ray one. I think they released it on DVD in 2003.
Yeah.
And then there's some kind of rights issues with it, so it's never been released again. So 22 years, we've never been able to buy this movie, or even watch it. But Synapse Films is putting it out this year, so I guess they got that resolved. So we'll get a official 4K version of this.
Nice.
Hopefully they'll put it out with the first one because I might buy those because I actually like both of these movies a lot better than I thought I would.
Yeah. I like them too. I remember, the first one. I thought we were giving it praise because of Jerry's vampire. We thought it was very creative that he was actually a vampire, like a fruit vampire. You know what I mean? And the structure of it, we thought it was a really creative idea when it comes to having the Peter Vince character being he ended up being a shoot Van Helsing, basically. It was a kind of a neat idea of like, what would you do if like a vampire moved next door to you? You know, kind of a cute idea. The love story between Charles and his girlfriend was a pretty fun, take on it. But this one right here, I would say that I liked it, but I liked it for like different reasons than I liked the first one. All right, like this one had more. I thought like the sister angle was pretty good, but I liked her crew. Like I thought her crew had like this really cool like 80s punk rock style to them.
Very Lost Boys influenced. I thought. Yeah.
The only guy that was cracking me up though, and we'll get to his name here. I don't have it written down, but I'm gonna do it. Well, I always call him the Arnold Schwarzenegger brother. You know, like it looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger's brother.
Brian Thompson.
Yeah, Brian Thompson. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in X-Files to play the alien bounty hunter.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's where I know the guy from. I'm like, oh shit, it's the alien bounty hunter dude that shoots the black goo in you.
Exactly.
X-Files, bro.
That guy's awesome. That guy's so cool.
Awesome, bro. He always had a fantastic chin. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's his gimmick, right? He has that chin, that square.
Exactly. As a guy who doesn't have a great chin, I always admire a good chin. a good chin.
Exactly. I mean? Yeah. The guy's head's square.
Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't like do more. You know what I mean? Like I just thought it was so random him being in this fucking movie, and he didn't do jack shit. All he did was eat a bunch of bugs.
I know. He's kind of yeah.
So. But this one, I thought it was pretty. It was kind of cute. You know what I mean? It was kind of like nice. It was like I thought it was a pretty good story that they told, and I liked the acting in it too. I thought it was pretty well done. I really liked the main girl, the seductive sister vampire. I thought she did a fantastic job. Yeah. I just loved everything about this movie, to be honest with you. I thought it was pretty good. Like this, I think I agree with you. If they came out with a double feature of these movies, I would definitely keep that in my collection. Because this, a lot of times we do like a lot of movies on here. We give our honest opinion. You know what I mean? We don't sugarcoat shit. There's a lot of times we do movies on here that I'm like, I'm never watching this shit again. You know what I mean? This one though, I played in the background. You know what I mean? I played in the background. I watched it over again. I liked it. So. Yeah,
I would watch it again. But yeah, you're right. Like the movie, the shows that are most fun to do are movies that we would probably never watch again. Yeah. But yeah, I thought this movie was pretty good. I mean, I really didn't have any expectations. Like I thought it was going to be terrible. Yeah. I mean, I really did. I thought this was going to be absolutely terrible, but it was way better than I thought. Yeah, I'll say that.
We'll get into this when we do the Who Booked This shit. But this movie had the unfortunate release date. I believe it was up against like two big movies. It was up against Roadhouse and Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade.
Yeah, you're not beating either one of those.
You're pretty much fucked, brother. You know what I mean? There's no way. There's no way. Like when people are going to the theaters, they're going to be seeing those movies a lot. Those are hot movies during this time of 1989. So I think that, and then this movie also had it didn't really have anybody for the original besides Charlie and Peter. You know what I mean? They were like really the only two people from the original movie back into this one. So. And there's a couple of reasons why, and it was directed by a different director too. So
in May of 1989, I mean, obviously, Indiana Jones: The Last Crusade was the number one grossing movie of that month. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Field of Dreams was number 2. Pet Sematary was number 4.
Yeah.
Fright Night came in at number 27.
There you go, brother.
House 3 did better than Fright Night 2.
Wow. Okay. House 3.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So it was definitely there was a lot of competition, but yeah, Roadhouse was only number 7. Major League was number 6. Classic baseball movie. K-9 was number 3, which I believe is a movie with James Belushi and a dog. If I'm not mistaken.
We're gonna see we're gonna see this vampire chick. We're gonna go see this dog.
Yeah. But it did not do great, but it has become a cult classic in the intervening years. Yeah. For sure.
So, like we do every Retro Blood episode, at least we try. Let's talk about what is going on in the world of the pro wrestling and the metal music. for all the new listeners out there, the reason we do this is just, to spice things up. You know what I mean? You guys came here for some horror. We're going to give you some history about the pro wrestling and the metal music because they all kind of go together in a way. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Who do you think in 1989 Crockett was going to go see Fright Night 2? Like, who do you?
Oh,
I guess it'd be WCW. All right.
Yeah. I don't know. Was Sting going to see Fright Night 2 after his match?
I was thinking Johnny B. Bad. He kind of looked like he would be a Fright Night guy.
Oh, yeah, I could see that too.
Or the Kevin Sullivan. There you go.
Oh, I definitely see that. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. So, all right. Well, I'll go first. So this movie was released May 19th, 1989. And shoot, your boy James was about 4 years old. So, I was prime and ready to watch this movie.
Yeah.
God, I don't know what the hell I would have. There's no way I would have remembered anything about this movie at 4 years old.
No.
All right.
I was definitely older than that. And I remember going to see Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Yeah. Wow. That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Brother, they don't make them like they used to. That's for sure.
Mm-mm.
So I got some fun, a little bit of fun on the wrestling. Sure. I there's so many WWF stuff we talk about all the time. I want to get away from them. I'm going to talk about WCW. All right.
Okay.
Which this is the portion where, like, they're already basically sold. Crockett already sold to Ted Turner. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And WCW was still, they were still part of the NWA. I believe they didn't leave the NWA until like what 93 or 4, something like that. Like they were with the NWA for a while. Because remember they had those two belts. Remember they had like the NWA World Belt, then they had the WCW World Belt, and nobody knew which one was more important.
Because they were trying to they were trying to do what Vince was doing. They were trying to break away from the territory thing, so they had their own title. But then they were still kept that NWA belt because they're also holding on to the territory. So they had to do one or the other. Yeah. Which, ultimately we know what they did. But
yeah, because I believe this is the 90s, but I believe Vader was like the WCW champion, and then like Rick Rude was the international champion, which they called him. The NWA International Champion. Yeah. I believe they kind of got rid of the concept when either Ric Flair won the belt or Rick Rude got hurt. One of the two. But I thought this was kind of fun. So this is their weekly TV show. Yeah. Which is probably Saturday night. All right. And
605.
The 605 one. They still did that for a long time. They did that during the Monday Night Wars, even though nobody was watching it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I think they had the Saturday night show like all the way up until the end. Mm. Like,
almost. Sure almost. Not. I don't think it went all the way to the end, but almost.
It was there for a long time. Like that slot was. But I guess they used to do like weekly top 10. All right. Okay. So on this episode, they did an NW. I'm not going to do the whole episode because it'll take us forever in here. But I just thought this is pretty interesting. Who was the weekly top 10 when Fright Night 2 was coming down for WCW? Oh, hold on, I just lost my page. I'll pull it up over here. All right. So coming in, number 10, we have Ron Simmons. All right. Who would pretty soon be the world champion for WCW. Mm-hmm. We have one Eddie Gilbert, who would go on to basically it was Eddie Gilbert. He's the one that kind of really helped out ECW at the early days, I believe.
Yes, hot stuff, Eddie Gilbert. Yeah.
We have at number 8, we have Bob Orton Jr. There you go.
Wow. Okay.
I believe who is that? Is that like the uncle of Randy Orton? I think so.
Oh, I'm not sure. I just assumed that. Yeah.
Or was that Randy or Dad?
No. Which one was at WrestleMania? Was that Bob Orton or Bob Orton Jr.?
I don't remember. Now I think
let's see.
I think Bob Orton Jr. is Randy's dad. I think so. Because there's a Bob Orton, then there's a Bob Orton Jr. And I believe the junior one was Randy Orton's dad, but I could be wrong. Maybe fact check us over there.
Yeah, Bob Orton Jr. is Randy Orton's dad.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, so without the cast or whatever, he was in WCW during 1989. So, we also go ahead.
Yeah, so Randy's uncle is Barry Orton.
Barry Orton, that's the guy I was thinking about.
Yeah.
Barry, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so then we have at number 7, we have Dick Murdoch.
Nice.
This is pretty, bro. I'm telling you, man. Like 1989 through like 1993 and 4, like WCW was basically kind of like in the toilet a little bit, but man, they have a fantastic roster. I mean, the product to me, when you go back and watch the two, if you watch the product from WCW from like this era to like 93, 94 compared to WWF, besides a couple of the WrestleManias, like the one with Hulk and Warrior and stuff, and that WrestleMania 8, like I think WCW, like the in-ring wrestling was way better. Or even the product, even the characters were way better. I mean, look at this. They had fucking number 6, the Great Muta. Yeah. On your roster. You know what I mean?
And then, because wasn't this the era when WWF was everybody had a job gimmick?
That was more like 93, 94.
Okay.
All right. So that in the 90s. So right now, 1989, WWF still has their like golden era, talent.
Okay. Right. Okay.
There's a couple that went over to WCW. But basically, this is like the 1989 to 1990 right now in WWF is like the rise of the Ultimate Warrior. So it's like that little period.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then, pretty soon they're about to get like the Undertaker. You know what I mean? So it's like that little run when you had like the Undertaker, Jake the Snake, Ultimate Warrior. You still had Andre hanging on a little bit. So that's the WWF at this time. But the WCW, at this time they acquired the USWA. That was Mid-South, the people from Mid-South. So they got like some pretty good talent like Sting and they had a big connection with New Japan at the time. That's why they got the Great Muta. So I just think like this period of WCW, they had some like just banger matches. I mean, they were just great. Coming in at number 5, Butch Reed, big old dude. We have number 4, Lex Luger. All right. And then we have at number 2, the NWA TV champion, Sting. All right. And for number 1, all right. Well, actually, hold on. I think I might have read that wrong. So we have number 4 was Lex Luger. Number 3 was the NWA champion, NWA TV champion, Sting. Coming in at number 2, we have the NWA US champion, a guy that would fit into any 80s horror movie, Michael Hayes.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
With that hair.
Yeah.
And his
for sure.
His bad street singing.
And his behavior. Well, yeah, he would definitely fit into any horror movie. Yes. Love Michael Hayes, though. He's great.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic wrestler. One of my favorites. And then number 1 of May 20th of 1989 in the NWA Top 10 Weekly, The Dragon, Ricky Steamboat.
That makes sense, and especially in '89. Like him and Flair were like on top with their trilogy and all that shit. So yeah.
So during this controversial top 10, Lex Luger took some issue with being in the number 4 position due to losing the U.S. title, and revealed footage of how Hayes won the title in Nashville, including a vignette of Shane Douglas and Johnny Ace set to "Eco Eco" by the Belly Stars. Okay.
That's weird, but okay. Yeah. That's a great song, but I can't see that attached to this highlight reel. But okay.
I know. So then we had some matchmaking booking out of the top 10 for this particular episode. So, but yeah, that's what WCW has going on at the time. Pretty good top 10 though. I mean, like all those are great wrestlers.
Yes,
you know what I mean. Like I said, like during this time, man, they got a pretty fun roster. I was they're watching during this time.
Yeah, I was gonna say their in-ring work was great. I mean, their matches were fantastic. They were just mismanaged during this time, but
yeah, oh yeah.
But they and the booking was shit. But like the people running it were shit, but the wrestlers were good. The workers were great.
Yeah. The storylines could be a little wonky.
Yeah.
But the actual in-ring wrestling was pretty good during this particular time, I thought. So, but Alison, what are we rocking in the Trans Am? Heading over to the theater. We're getting at the theater. We're asking for Fright Night 2 tickets, and everybody looking at us like we're crazy because we're not seeing Indiana Jones.
Exactly. We're the only people not seeing Indiana Jones that weekend. Yeah. So I was going to send you this and I forgot, but so we're talking about The Cure again this week.
Oh, okay. Good old.
So this is going to be a little bit of a story. It won't be very long. I won't spend a lot of time on this, but in early May 2nd of 1989, The Cure released and I'll get to the 19th in a minute, but I'm starting at the beginning of the month. So on May 2nd, 1989, The Cure released what is possibly their greatest album of all time that they ever recorded, which was Disintegration, which is like their classic album. And it's the one that broke them big in the United States and the rest of the world. But I really wanted to talk about the tour that went with that. So they started what they called the Prayer Tour, which was the tour for Disintegration. It started May the 1st. So this is weird. Like, bands don't do this anymore, but they started the tour for the album the day before the album came out. So it came out on the 2nd. So the people that saw it on the first night had never heard the new songs. They played all the songs on the new album, plus a bunch of other ones. The Cure shows are really long. So they play their typical, 2.5 hour show, playing every song on the new album, plus all their classics at the time. But, half of the show, the audience had never heard because the music wouldn't come out until the next day. And then they continued on through all of May in Europe. These were all European dates until we get to May 19th. So they're playing in Munich in Germany at the Olympia Hall, which is like the big concert arena in Munich. Everybody played there. Led Zeppelin played there. Everybody played there. Still open today. But they played a 3-hour show that night, playing the whole new album, plus, like I said, all their older songs. But they also ended the show with Faith, which is like my favorite Cure song. Like it's so sad and just so beautifully depressing in a way. Like it's like what you would typically think of. It's like the Cure stereotype, right? It's like that sad, depressing song. You know, most of their music, a lot of their music's not like that. But yeah, I just want to talk about that, The Cure, because this is the year The Cure got big. This is the very beginning of the Prayer Tour. They would go on to the United States in the fall and play stadiums. They played Giant Stadium in New York. So, 60,000 people, which is large, which is amazing for a band like that. They weren't a hair metal band. They weren't, whatever was big at the time. They were, this weird British gothy alternative band. And they're selling out a stadium, which is really unusual for the time for a band like this to be this big.
Oh yeah, those for sure.
Depeche Mode would do the same thing a year later actually maybe it was the same year in 1989. So you could tell kind of things were changing.
Yeah.
How I think we talked about it last week or the week before about how you could tell things were kind of changing from like hair metal to like what we started calling alternative music.
Yeah.
And then bands like The Cure were getting huge. And, this is a couple years before Nirvana, but bands like The Cure were getting huge. Depeche Mode was big. They were playing arenas in the United States. They sold out the Rose Bowl. But back to The Cure. So The Cure was playing this tour. This started off the tour where The Cure would get big and become household names. And after this, pretty much everybody would know who The Cure was. This is like golden era. Like this is the best it ever was. Like, The Cure from, in my opinion, from 88 to like 93 was probably the best The Cure ever was. And lots of good shows, but yeah, I don't know what your experience is with The Cure. We've talked about them before. But yeah, have you ever listened to this Disintegration album before or not really?
I probably heard some songs from it before. I was never like a super Cure guy. You know what I mean? But yeah. I respect what they've done and I like that genre of music. So
yeah, I mean, the thing I love about The Cure is like how heavy their music is. Like not heavy, like death metal heavy, but it's just like heavy music. Like it's hard to describe what I mean, but it's just like super like real bassy and just super like heavy. Like it feels like, it's like a lead weight that's holding you down in a way. I don't know. When I describe it, doesn't sound great. But yeah, The Cure was going on their tour and they were about to break out and become one of the biggest bands in the world. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that. And then we can thank this tour, I guess, for giving us one of the greatest bands of all time.
Do you think our boy Bosworth, you know what I mean? That was our Brian Thompson's name in this movie, Bosworth. Do you think he was a big Cure guy? He kind of looked like a Cure guy.
He kind of does, even though he has that weird buzz cut. Looks like he's in the Marines. I bet he was a Cure fan.
That's the style, bro. That's a goth style.
You're right. That's true. That is kind of a goth style in a way. You're right.
What is he from Austria? He looks like he was from Austria, right? Let me look at him.
Brian Thompson?
Yeah. Wait, no.
I don't think so.
He's an American guy.
Yeah. Well, isn't he from like Ohio or somewhere?
Why does he look Australian to me? Because every time
he's from Washington State. I don't know. I think that I see what you're talking about.
Yeah.
He looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger, kind of, who's Austrian.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why. I'm not sure.
I can't believe he was in that Cobra movie. That's cool.
I was about to say he played Night Slasher in Cobra. Apparently, this is the first movie he was ever in where his character had a name.
Yeah. There you go.
Instead of playing Night Slasher, he played Bosworth.
Bosworth. Well, let's get into it though. But we'll play some Cure. We'll play some Cure for all of our podcast listeners. So if you guys are listening on Apple, Spotify, what else is there? Like Podbeam, whatever you get your podcast from, everybody, you can hear some music at the end because they don't.
YouTube doesn't like the music.
The YouTube don't like the music on here, brother. All right. Well, let's get into who booked this shit because we have some changes since the first movie.
Yes.
Right? So out goes Tom Holland, in comes Tommy Lee Wallace.
Yeah.
All right.
The director of Halloween 2.
No, I think it was, isn't it? Did he do 3 as well?
Maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe it is 3.
No. Yeah, he did 3. No, because remember, John Carpenter was still doing 2. And I think
he didn't direct it, though, did he?
Fuck, I can't remember now. No, yeah.
Regardless, you're right. Tommy Lee Wallace did not direct Halloween 2.
Yes.
But he did direct Halloween 3, which is my favorite of the Halloween movies.
Yes. This guy, he's good, man. He's kind of like the John Carpenter understudy. So he probably did some work on Halloween 2. I just don't know I don't think he directed it.
Yeah, I was trying to think. I thought he did work on it.
Let's look it up.
But it doesn't look like it. I think I'm completely wrong on that. I think I'm thinking of Halloween. He was around during Halloween because he played Michael Myers in one scene.
Yeah.
But he hasn't directed a lot of movies. He did Fright Night 2, he did Far From Home, and then he did a vampire sequel. The one that has Bon Jovi in it.
There you go.
So I haven't seen that, but maybe it's great.
So he also wrote Envyville 2, The Possession, which we've done on the show.
Yeah, which we did on the show. Yeah, I remember us talking about him then.
Of course, we done Halloween 3 in this show. That's a really if you guys want to know some old school stuff about the Retro Blood, go to Halloween 3. That's probably one of our best reviews ever.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I see it here. Vampires Los Muertos.
Yeah.
All right, that's fancy.
So that's the sequel to the John Carpenter's Vampires movie.
Yeah. So,
but it has Bon Jovi in it, so I never watched it.
All right, let me see. Just because I'm curious now, let me go to my notes over here.
Yeah,
and I want to see. So obviously, I love that Halloween 3 movie. So obviously,
me too.
The directing style basically is really good, and I thought he did a really good job on this movie. So, okay, the director of Halloween 2 was Rick Rosenthal.
Yes, Rick Rosenthal. You are correct about that. I had them confused, but yes, Rick Rosenthal was Halloween 2.
Yeah,
Tommy Lee Wallace was Halloween 3.
Yeah, so Tom, basically Tom, he's kind of like he's a John Carpenter predecessor. You know, like he learned a lot from John Carpenter, basically. All right, so they got him to do this film. Basically, I think Tom Holland, like he was because okay, so you know you got to remember when Tom did the first movie, he was kind of like hot shit during that time. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like he was directing a lot of like really hit movies, and they gave him the script to do Fright Night, but he also wrote it too, so he did both. And the only reason he would do that movie if he did both. So we also got, let's see, we got, like I said, the only people we have coming back to this film is the actor who played Charlie, William Ragsdale, and the actor who played Rodney McDowell, Peter Vincent. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's get into some of the production. So what I wrote down is after the critical and financial success of Fright Night, producer Herb Jeff retained the screen rights to the character and pushed for a sequel to be made. Although he was unhappy that the budget was drastically slashed, where have we heard that before? We heard
like almost every week.
Every week. You know what's something that's actually kind of interesting though a little bit is you really only hear the budget being slashed and not there when you're doing like theater releases.
Well, yeah, because that's when it matters.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're doing straight to video, they don't care.
They don't care. Like they'll just. I think it was straight to video. I think they just have a budget for all year round or whatever, and then you just take a little bit out of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I think you're right. Yeah.
So I wonder how they do it nowadays. I guess it's kind of like the same with streaming. I guess I don't know. So he said that though he was unhappy the budget got slashed, original director Tom Holland was interested. All right, but Chris Sarandon and he were both tied up making Child's Play, which we done on the show before in the cast. So go check it out. So that's why that it was a scheduling conflict. So Tom Holland wanted to do the show and everything. He was interested in it, but he just, he was making that Child's Play. And to be honest with you, it's probably made the right move, I would say.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
So, and he could not commit to the film. And then the new director, Tommy Lee Wallace, sought out Holland for advice and Sarandon visited the set while they were shooting. So a couple things about why some of the characters for the first movie didn't show up in this one. One of them was the actor who played Ed. All right, remember the underling Ed guy for the first movie? So it said the original script featured the characters Evil Ed and Charlie's girlfriend Amy, which is obviously played by, I know her as Marcy from Married with Children. Yeah. All right. Her name is Stephanie Geoff turned down the role due to disliking the script and being offered the lead in 19. Okay. So let me start over again. Sorry. It says the characters that were going to be a little different. So from the first film, we're going to be on this one. Okay. Right. The original script actually featured the character of Evil Ed. Okay. He was actually going to be, I believe he was going to be like the main antagonist of this film right here, was going to be Evil Ed. All right. The actor, Stephen Joffreys, turned down the role due to him disliking the script. All right. Which you can hear him in interviews say. He didn't feel like it was a strong script. And at the same exact time when they were going to be filming this film, he got offered the lead role to be in 1976 Evil.
Yeah, I was going to ask, did we do that movie? No, have we done 976 Evil? Okay.
No, we haven't. That's been one we haven't explored yet. Wasn't this? So basically, he was saying, and this is true about the film. This is also I want to do it too. This is actually the directorial debut of Robert Englund.
I was going to say, if we haven't done this movie, like we've done so many movies, I really can't remember what we've done and what we haven't. I have to look it up every week. But if we haven't done it, we should, because it's a Robert Englund directed movie. Yeah. Freddy Krueger, if you don't know that, and Brian Helgeland wrote it. Yeah. So it's a good movie. But yeah, if we haven't done that, we need to do that down the road at some point.
Yeah, we'll definitely probably try to get into this year. We'll fit it in there somewhere. Because I've never seen it before, and I've been waiting to see it. So that's why pretty much he didn't show up. All right, and then because basically the films were supposed to be, they were just scheduled at the same time to be filmed, so that's why he just picked that one to go. So then at the same time, the reason Amy, Charlie's girlfriend for the first movie, the reason she wasn't showing up, Amanda Bierce, was because she was busy on her television sitcom Married with Children.
Yeah,
there you go. So then they had to get a new girlfriend, Alex, portrayed by Tracy Lind. All right, and she was written for Charlie. In the end, only Ragsdale and McDowell reprised their roles, and a new set of villains were devised. So that's how basically it was. So they offered to get the original people back. They had some scheduling conflict issues. Some of them were interested, some of them weren't. I believe the Amanda and Stephen were the ones that just weren't interested. So they just moved on, brother. Just move on.
And sorry, go ahead.
I mean, but when it comes to Amanda, I mean, she made the right choice. I mean, she was, I mean, that was Married with Children, brother. That's like an iconic TV show.
Yeah. She played an iconic character. Like Marcy is one of the most important people in Married with Children, even though she was like a supporting cast. She was fantastic. She was hilarious in that show.
Well, it's also interesting to see, like, when do they, let's and we had this debate on Fright Night. If y'all, hopefully y'all listened to that one before you did this one or not, whatever. But like, Amy and Charlie, for the first movie, they were supposed to be portrayed as like teenagers. But like not even 4 years later, the character of Amanda is playing like some sort of like middle-aged, middle-aged wife. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it just
she was probably like in her maybe 30 or something, but
yeah.
And then Married with Children, but still, because I think they were younger than the Bundys. I think her and her husband, I can't remember his name, in Married with Children, but I think they were younger. They were supposed to be younger than the Bundys. But yeah, you're right. Like they were definitely not. She was playing a teenager like 2 years before, or whatever.
Yeah,
3 years before, and now she's playing, an adult. But that's Hollywood for you. That's how acting works.
So I thought this story was super interesting when it comes to this movie. All right. And like when I heard it, I was like, what? That's so random. All right. So soon after the filming was wrapped up, okay, Robbie McDowell and Fright Night creator Tom Holland were scheduled to meet with Live Entertainment chairman Jose Mendez.
Yeah. I was wondering if you read about this.
All right. But none of the talks really happened because at this particular time, this is when Mendez's two sons killed him and his wife.
Yeah. So Jose Menendez was the producer on this, and the famous Menendez murders happened, and then they never got to make the third sequel.
Yes.
And apparently it really caused them to not really push this movie a lot either.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lyle and Eric killed Jose and his wife.
Which is
their
crazy,
mom and dad. Yeah.
Because, obviously those kids, like recently, I guess, got a little bit more attention on because of that whole
Netflix show.
Yeah. Ryan Murphy produced a Netflix show of the Menendez brothers under the Monster title. Have you ever seen any of those monsters? Like,
no, I started watching, is it the Ed Gein one? I watched the first episode of that and I didn't really care for it, so I stopped watching it.
Yeah, they had Ed Gein, they had Menendez brothers, and then they have Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah, I haven't seen really any of them, to be honest with you. But I mean, a lot of people do like them. I'm not really a huge fan of most of the stuff Ryan Murphy does. But I kind of want to watch the Menendez brothers one, though.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's a little strange. All right. Well, the whole murder thing was strange too. So
yeah.
So basically, what I was saying has a direct consequence of the horrific tragedy that happened. Part 2 ended up losing its planned countrywide distribution. All right.
Yeah.
And playing only in one LA and another New York theater. All right. Which directly resulted in a poor box office results with, obviously the other two big blockbuster movies happening at the same time. Even though its pre-theater results were pretty good and being released among straight to video. Since all these movies, planned promos and ads were canceled, as well as most people never even learned of the movie's existence until eventually noticing it at their local video store.
Mm.
So obviously, I mean, they just don't. I mean, I guess because of the murders and tragedy and controversy, because this was basically produced and by the live entertainment chairman and everything, and they're just like, nope, we're pulling this one, brother. So that is crazy to think that movie got mixed up in that tragedy part of that murder. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's really weird that they just wouldn't promote any of their movies or this movie in particular because of all that happened. But I mean, I don't know, who knows? People do weird shit, so.
So here's what it says on here too. I don't know if this is true, but I'm going to read it. So Robbie McDowell and director Tommy Lee Wallace had an unpleasant lunch with live entertainment chairman Jose Mendez to discuss the film distribution and marketing. And later the same evening, the executives were slaughtered by his sons. So you're telling me
it was the same day?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
All right. As news emerged around Hollywood the next morning, McDowell phoned Wallace and cracked, "Well, I didn't do it. Did you?" Come on now.
That's crazy.
So
that's hard to believe that that's a real story. But who knows?
Hey, it's on here. I found it on the intranet. That is what they claimed.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, you do business meetings. You never know what's going to happen afterwards, I guess. All right.
True.
I got some other fun stories on here. So there's a Julia Carmen. All right. And she, pull up out here. She played Renee Dandridge. All right. Renee Dandridge. I think that was the sister. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The Julia Cameron. Boy, was she hot. I was like, damn, brother. Let's see what she's done. She was in the Mouth of Madness, John Carpenter's 1994 film. That's fun. Let's see what's on. Okay. So, excuse me. Hold on a second.
Oh.
Woo. All right. So it looks like in the 80s, she was doing like just, I don't know, normal dancing role movies, I guess. Like this is like her first horror movie was Fright Night Part 2. Because unless Night of the Juggler. I never even heard of that before. But
that sounds familiar, but I don't believe I've seen it. But yeah, she would go on to be in the Mouth of Madness would be the movie that I would know her from, probably.
So it says on here she had never done any kind of prosthetic makeup prior to this film. And she was so freaked out when they made the life mask of her head that she had a panic attack as the plasters hardened, and then went home and burst into tears about the experience. As soon as she regained her composure, Carmen received a call from a crew member informing her that there had been a problem with the mold and she had to do it all over again. It's pretty tough probably being that, because you probably had to stay there for like hours, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Back then, especially, it would take a really long time. Yeah. You probably just sit there a long time, and then they mold your face, and then she freaked out because she saw a mold of her face. Apparently, she's a psychotherapist now.
Yeah. Well, it also says she initially wasn't interested in taking the role because of Rain's character was nothing more than an Elvira imitation. I guess I can kind of see that.
I could see that, I guess.
Yeah, because this is what she told Fangoria in 1988. I guess it'd be it's probably 1988 interview before the movie came out. Yeah. After the script went through revision, she became so enamored with this role that she turned down other projects to ensure she had amped time to prepare for the part. So there you go. So
apparently she's also in Tales of the Walking Dead, which I guess is one of those Walking Dead TV shows that I don't watch.
Yeah.
But apparently she's on that too.
Nice. Well, Tales of the Walking Dead is kind of like a short mini series where they just every episode's like a new little story within the universe, which I think only had like 1 or 2 seasons or something.
Okay.
So basically Julia Carmen was very similar to the actor who played Jerry, where they didn't really care about the script at the beginning, but then when they read it, they were pretty interested in it after that. So they kind of put all effort into it. I thought she did a great job, though. So
I was about to say she had a really good role. So I mean, not much to complain about.
All right. It was Brian Thompson's idea for his character to recreate the name of each genus and species of insect before he devoured them. So, like,
Okay.
when Borak or whatever would eat a bug, he would tell us what bug it was. It was his idea to do that.
So before that, he was just not having any lines at all. He was just eating.
Probably. He just eats bugs, probably. Pretty much. Let's see. So it says Chris Sanderdon, all right, who played Jerry in the first film, stopped by the set to show his support the day that the party at the Regine Dandridge apartments filmed. So he was at that vampire party, and stills of him on location with Robbie McDowell and William Ragsdale exist. So he was there for that filming. So that's pretty fun.
I mean, if you're going to show up any day, that's definitely the day to show up. The day of the vampire party.
I know. It's probably the funniest day. Some fun stuff about here. So it says Julia Carmen, we keep talking about her, retained many pieces of her own on-screen wardrobe, which hung in her closet for decades. So she kept a lot of those outfits for all of our outfit nerds out there that care about that. That's kind of cool. She should just go on the fucking horror movie thing. You know what I mean?
I'm surprised she doesn't.
Yeah.
Because they do a lot of Fright Night 2.
Yeah, they do.
Reunions. So
she's probably done one before. I just hadn't paid attention, but I don't imagine she did it. The movie had a $7.5 billion budget and was shot in 45 days. All right. In 1989, the film was adapted as a graphic novel released by Now Comics.
Okay.
All right.
Now Comics, yeah.
The issue was a standalone, which was not consulted with the publisher's ongoing Fright Night comic book series. All right.
Interesting.
And then we had Josh Rickman auditioned for the role of a werewolf Louis, but landed the part of mental painted Fritzies. The mental patient guy. So basically, Josh Rickman, that guy in the mental home that was freaking out a little bit. He was trying to be the werewolf guy, but he didn't get that.
Yeah.
He got
the werewolf. The werewolf would have been a better role, but at least he's in the movie though.
So let's see. That's a random thing. It says Charlie is said 63 times during the movie. Anyway.
Well, that is a random fact, yes.
Yeah. And apparently the last thing, Robbie McDowell appears in Class of 84, and Trace Lynn appears in the sequel Class of 1999. Yeah,
which are movies that I want to do on this show at some point. But those are both great films. Class of 84 and Class of 99.
So yeah, that's a little history about Fright Night 2, man. It's a pretty interesting shit here. None more interesting than a Jose Menendez story. Like I never
that's
heard that
crazy.
Like,
I did not know that.
Murders.
Yeah,
I knew about the murders. I knew he worked in entertainment, but I had no idea he was linked at all to Fright Night 2, which is crazy. So pretty fun stuff over here. But speaking of fun stuff, let's get into the full review of Fright Night 2.
Let's do it.
Tired of good girls?
Good night, Charlie.
Ready for some real excitement? Looking for someone incredibly seductive?
Do you know how to use your lips, Charlie?
Then this is your lucky night.
Welcome to Fright Night.
Fright Night 2.
I kill liars.
Enter a world where each embrace takes your breath away.
Come kiss me. Maybe it's the full moon, Charlie.
And every kiss is a killer. Roddy McDowell, William Ragsdale.
Do you mind if I borrow these?
If you thought one was fun, wait till you do two. Fright Night 2. Oh, man.
So we start off with some flashbacks. You ever wake up in the morning, Alison, and just have some flashbacks of the previous day?
Like not usually, but back, yeah. The thing is, though, you got to understand back then, like people may not have seen Fright Night 1.
Really?
So we had to tell so we had to tell people.
Who's
well, apparently nobody saw
this movie.
I was about to say nobody's even watching this movie, but we had to tell people what happened in Fright Night 1 so they wouldn't be confused.
But it's like right at the beginning
because they're going to see a sequel. I don't know. It's just shit that people did, I guess. But it reminded me though of what happened in Fright Night 1.
That's true.
So I could follow along.
We could just listen to our show.
Right. That would be the best way.
Yeah, that we did.
Because we broke it down for you.
That we did like 2 years ago. All right. So basically they attack happened 3 years ago. And the gist of all this stuff was Charlie is at his therapist, I guess college student therapist. And he's basically admitting to his therapist, yeah, the guy wasn't really a vampire. He was just a serial killer that we stopped. And I know that now. All right. So he's playing down the angle that vampires are real. All right. So he convinces himself the vampires aren't real. He throws away all his vampire gear. You never do that. You never throw away the gear, brother.
No, you got to keep it. You never know when you're going to have another outbreak.
So now we see Charlie's dating a new girl. This Charlie guy's kind of a playboy. You know what I mean? He had fucking Amanda. You know what I mean? Alex from the, Marcy. Then he was hitting on that fucking Playboy model on the first movie. And now he's dating another hot girl, this just Alex girl. And then he was hitting on the fucking vampire. I was like, damn, brother. He was all over the place.
Right.
She's a psychology student. All right. And then they basically go visit Charlie's old pal, Peter Vincent. All right. Which, of course, is the shoot now Van Helsing guy.
Right.
Because
he was the TV host. Yeah. The horror host. But then it turns out he actually can kill a vampire.
Yeah. Well,
as we find out in the first movie.
So basically now he, obviously Peter Vincent, he hosts the late night show or something, Fright Night.
Yes.
Okay. And apparently for the last 3 years, ever since his incident with Jerry, he has been convinced everybody that vampires really, really are real. Like, brother, this is a shoot. All right. He's going out there and shooting on them. All right.
Exactly.
You ever shoot on anybody, Alison?
Man, every day. I'm a shooter.
I can see that.
Yeah.
You got the ears for it. The cauliflower ears, brother. Not Peter though. He looks kind of like he's faking it.
Yeah.
So basically, Peter's talking about vampires and stuff, but they're real and everything. Like, can you believe what happened to us 3 years ago? It's all real. And then you can see at this time that Charlie and Alex are basically like, nah, yeah, we don't want to break his heart. Tell him that this wasn't really real. You know what I mean? Well, what we did those 3 years ago, we didn't really kill a vampire. We were just a crazy serial killer. All that vampire stuff was just in our minds. All right. And of course, Alex is like, I don't believe in all that vampire voodoo doo-doo. I was like, no. Whatever. I was like, you're lucky you're hot because don't give me that shit, girl. All right. So now, during their visit in here, Charlie's looking out the window, kind of like he did the first movie. And he sees 3 new vampire coffins going in next door. And I do like the scene where he's looking at them. He's like, nope, not doing it. I was like, I feel you, man. It's like, no, not me.
Yeah.
So basically, we're seeing that the same kind of setup is happening, except these vampires are moving next door to Peter and his, I guess, apartment complex. I guess so. Yeah. So now, Charlie and Alex, they're going to be leaving. Okay. And this is when Alex has to go use the restroom and Charlie's staying nearby. By the way, I don't How did you like Charlie in this movie? I thought he was kind of annoying, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, I think that's in way his character. Like he's supposed to be a little bit annoying. But I like how like he's kind of the one being taken over in this movie in a way.
Yeah.
Like he's not, I mean, he's the hero, but he's not like he's not the guy that's, I was gonna say he's not the guy that's fighting the vampires, but he is. But how he's kind of the victim, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
As opposed to the first movie, yeah.
Yeah, because this is pretty much when we meet the vampire crew now. They all walk into the building, and let me get all their names here for everybody. All right, so we have Regine Dandridge. All right, Renee.
Mm-hmm.
We have Bosworth, where we talked about those two already. We have, I believe it's, let me see if I got everybody's name on here. Bernice. Pretty sure I got this one. Bernice was the one with the kind of like the one with the wild looking hair who did the roller skating.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then we have I think his name is Louis. Yeah, Louis. Louis was like the werewolf one. All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we had all that crew kind of come in, and then you could tell right away that Rain was kind of like kind of targeting Charlie a little bit. All right. Showing him off and everything. But I thought their introduction was pretty cool. And yeah, I was getting like a little bit of the Lost Boys vibes with them. You know, like you were saying, kind of like that later 80s punk rock style.
Right.
These guys. So they go onto the elevator. This is when we have Charlie taking Alex back home. And, you know, obviously they're dating and everything. They're trying to get to know each other. Alex wants to go study, but he's like, no, you don't need to study. You just got to make out with me. So start making out in the car. But this is when we can see that Rain, that she is on the car and she's basically controlling both of them to make out more with each other and to be a little bit more seductive on each other. And Charlie gets a little too frisky and Alex gets out of there saying, I will see you later.
Yeah.
All right. And this is when we can see that somebody is following Alex to her dorm, which was obviously, it was Louis. It was the werewolf one. And we can see a scene where he's about to get into the house, but then she closes the window on his fingers. He falls down. All right. And this is when we see Borak saying, you're supposed to bite her in the neck. All right.
Yep.
And this is when we can kind of see that some of the vampires out there are getting their victims. I believe the roller skating one, she got like one of the college girls as her victim to kind of feed on. All right. So this is also too that Charlie is starting to dream a little bit. All right. He dreams of Renee visiting and biting him in his dorm room. All right. Because she comes in there like in his dream. She knocks on the door and says, I'm looking for a Charlie, but I don't think you're the right one and stuff. And you can tell that he's kind of enamored by her. It's like, damn, she's pretty hot, beautiful and everything. And then she comes back in there. She starts drinking a smoke and starts having a smoke and everything. And then they start making out. All right. This is when she starts turning into a vampire. Then he wakes up in the cold sweat. All right. So he's already enamored by the girl that he saw.
Yeah.
Which, like, you know what, brother? I don't blame you.
But this is going along with his. So at this point, though, he's kind of convinced himself that the vampires weren't real.
Yeah.
At this point, and then he's undergoing therapy. Yeah. So like this is kind of like what I was thinking was this is kind of like his subconscious in a way, like holding down the memories, I guess, of the vampires that he's trying to think aren't real or trying to decide aren't real, and they're coming out in his like dreams or whatever, coupled with the girl that he is currently enamored with, even though he's dating somebody else.
Yep. Yep. And then now he's back with his therapist, Dr. Harrison. Dr. Harrison serves him as just a side effect from his trauma, just like you were saying, Alison.
Of course.
So Charlie spots his friend Richie Green entering Rain's apartment and whistling what appears to be Richie being drained by blood. So his friend, like this Richie Green guy, was like the fucking, hey, bro, let's go get some smokes. You know, that kind of dude. You know
right.
I mean? Like he's the guy that, like, if you were investing property in, you're guaranteed to go to jail.
Exactly.
He was like one of those.
Exactly. Yeah, he's the guy. Yeah, he's the guy that's gonna give you the Ponzi scheme or the bad land deal for sure.
Yeah. So during this particular time, Charlie agreed to go to some sort of like classical performance with Alex, and he agreed to go. All right, even though he basically apologized for like smooching too much with her. And so he was going to make it up with her by going to the play. All right. But like I said, during this time, he sees that his friend Richie is getting like seduced by the girl that, you know, he was having a wet dream about, the vampire chick, Randy. All right. And he sees basically him up in a room in the apartment getting bitten by Rain and the rollerblading vampire girl. Okay, so he freaks out. He goes to Peter. He's like, "Hey, man, it's happening all over again. You got to come up here with me." And they eventually crash the party, but we find out pretty quickly that it's a vampire party.
Yeah, that's the best kind.
And I was like, "Brother, where's my invitation? I'm a great vampire." All
exactly.
right?
That the vampire party is the best kind to go to.
Golly, that part looks so fun. Let's go, brother. So they get to the party. Charlie thinks everything's real and everything. But he eventually sees Richie at the party, and it looks like he's unharmed. Like he doesn't see any bite marks or anything on him. Okay. And this is when we find out that Reen is a performance artist. That's why she does all her weird, quirky stuff. That Charlie finds attractive in his wet dreams. Yeah,
because she's an eccentric. So like all those fire dancers or whatever we see all over town or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. She just randomly goes out in performances, anywhere. It don't matter. She don't get paid for it, just does it.
Yeah, it's just a random thing.
Yeah. So she randomly does a hypnotic, like a kind of like a very what's it called? Hypnotic dance on him. All right. And Peter noticing that, but during all this stuff, like this is when Charlie's like, "Oh man, she's just a performance artist. That makes all kind of sense." And he's like, "Oh shit, I was supposed to meet Alex. I'm out of here."
Oh man,
yeah. And then during this time, Alex was waiting there and stuff. And this is when pretty much Louis comes in and offers to buy a ticket, and then they go see the show together. Okay.
Yeah.
So now Peter is he's enamored, brother. This Peter guy, like you never seen a fucking more hornier Van Helsing with this Rain girl. He was like, "Oh shit, brother." He's like, "I know I'm old as shit, but man, she looked like she'd have a good time." So he's looking around. He's like, "You know what? Maybe I'll get drunk with all these motherfuckers." And then he pulls out his old mirror that he used in the first movie. And then he looks around. He's like, "Oh shit, they don't have any reflection. I'm getting the fuck out of here." All right. So he tries to leave the party. All right, but Rena was basically, cornered him down the staircase and everything. And this is when she reveals who she really is. We get the reveal already. She revealed. Well, first she's like, "My blood is over 1,000 years old. Those little parlor tricks don't work that much on me, even though they will work later."
They will, yeah.
Because remember, she was all like, "Oh yeah, the little cross thing don't work on me because I have a tolerance to it." Next thing I know, later on in the movie, the cross is all up in her business. So basically, she is saying that you guys spilled Jerry's blood, which that blood was 1,000 years old, and that blood was my brother.
Oof.
She informs Peter that I'm going to torture you, but not as much as I'm going to torture Charlie. The reason I'm not going to torture you too much, Peter, is because you were basically like unwilling, like you got basically dragged in to defeat my brother. But Charlie, he is the big corporate out of everything. And then she does something that I actually thought it was really cool that I wish more vampires would do. She just burst into smoke.
Yeah. I thought that was really cool. That was a cool effect, and it looked awesome. I love that.
That reminds me of, this is going to be super nerdy for all my nerdy Castlevania fans. That reminds me that when you play Castlevania, I believe it's Castlevania Symphony of the Night, you can actually have Alucard turn to smoke for a little bit and go through like different doors.
Yeah.
It's a little trick. But I like that effect, like with vampires, because that's like actually a lore thing where vampires can actually just turn into fog.
Yes, to mist. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, they turn into mist.
Yeah. So I like that. That was actually one of my favorite parts about the movie where they kept that in. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's such an easy effect to do. I'm not sure why a lot of vampire movies don't do that. But she also turns into a bat as well too. So
especially now with the effects the way they are, it would be. Yeah. Back then, it was just a cool effect that was easy to do, which is why I'm sure they did it. But now it would be super easy to have a vampire turn into mist.
So now Peter gets out there and he's freaked out now. He's like, oh, fuck this. So then at nighttime now, after Charlie tries to go to meet up Alex, the show is already happening. So he's like, oh, fuck, I fucked up. So he just goes home and sleeps. We have Louie trying to hit on Alex a little bit, and she says he's a sweet guy.
Yeah.
All right. So Charlie's back at home right now, and this is when Rain visited Charlie. And earlier in the movie, which is a big plot point, I forgot to bring it up, he actually cut himself shaving.
Right.
And apparently, I guess the way that Rain is, the way that she is, I guess, like, what is it called? Taking control of him is through the cut in his wound.
Right.
All right.
Right. Right. Because that's the classical vampire thing, right? Because she's controlling him through the blood infusion or whatever that is, like Dracula did.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like this whole thing where he's like, his wound is getting a little bit more infected. And then you can tell that she's basically she reveals her master plan of why she's doing all this. All right,
yeah, she's got to tell us halfway through the movie.
Yes. So we'll get there though. All right. So basically, she continues. He continues denying everything about what happened. So we have a scene where, Charlie and Alex are talking. Charlie is apologizing to Alex for not showing up to the play. You can tell that Charlie's attitude is getting a little more sporadic, and he's also getting a little bit more tired too. Okay. So he's trying to apologize and gives Alex some flowers. They have a fight saying, like, Alex is saying, well, what do you know about fucking classical musical literature? All you do is watch those vampire shitty shows. He's like, what the fuck you talking about? You ever watch? He's like, yeah, you ever read Dracula? Huh? There's some literature in there.
Yeah. He's talking about how classic Dracula is, which is he's right.
That reminds me of something you would do, Alison.
Yes, it does.
So that'd be like one of these new kids saying, "Yeah, brother, fucking Twilight's the shit." And then Alison's like, "What the fuck you talking about? You ever read Dracula?"
I'm flipping my shit. Yeah. I mean, I've actually done that before, actually. So yes, it does sound like me. That's definitely on.
Read the book.
In character. Read the book. Read a real book. Don't read Twilight or one of that shit.
We need a shirt as Alison says, "Read the book, motherfucker."
Yes. Yeah, we need to get a shirt store up at some point, and that would be one of them.
Yeah. So then Alex is like, you know what? Maybe I should read that book. Right. So this is also too when Peter's like, he just comes up to him at school. Is like, you know what, guys, you are right, fucking Charlie. These people are super vampires. They're gonna fucking kill me. We gotta get the hell out of town. And then Charlie's like, you know what? They're not vampires, man. I was wrong the whole time, and we're not gonna listen to you, Peter, because you're a crazy old man. All right. So then Peter's like, hey, I warned you. All right. So then Peter tries to go to his TV station. All right.
Yeah.
And apparently they have now fired him from his show, and they're gonna change up the set a little bit. And they're gonna give the reins over to Rain, pretty much.
Right.
So he lost his show. So basically, the vampire girl she's actually pretty smart, man. I think she did a lot more smart things in this movie than even Jerry did. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I feel like she did like a lot more like dashery things, like taking over Peter's job. You know what I mean? Seducing Charlie's, brain to be more.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like one of her minions. All right.
Right. Exactly.
So during all this stuff, we have Louis, Bella, and the bug-eating Bosework. They're all kind of like doing their own thing, and the Louis just keeps stalking Alex. All right, and this is like, I guess, like they basically the one of the funny parts of the movie, I guess, was the bowling stuff. All right, so basically the therapist told Charlie, when Charlie's kind of going through some of his transformations, to relieve stress by going bowling. So he does it by himself, and this was Alex season bowling. And then we get later on, we get the whole crew go back to the same bowling alley. The whole vampire crew go back to the same bowling alley. When they close, they kill the bowling owners, and they drink their blood while they're doing funny bowling during the time.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I thought that was one of the Lost Boys scenes, except instead of like riding motorcycles and getting drunk, they're bowling, but So
now we have Alex reading Dracula, and bro, like, did you see her read this book? Like, what the hell was she doing, man? Do you read like that?
No, nobody reads like that.
I was like, wait a minute. Does she have some sort of like reading powers that we don't know about or something?
Well, she's supposed to be really smart, right? However, she's never read Dracula, so I'm not sure what that means.
She was doing like this game. I don't know what the fuck that was, bro.
So, I mean, yeah. So supposedly some people can read like that, like that you can read one line at a time. But instead of like one word at a time, it's like that. You just look at the whole line and look at the next one. But I've never tried to do it. I don't think that actually works.
My fucking dyslexia ass was like, I could not handle that. I was like, what do you?
No, I don't think that's going to work for you.
I was like, let's go a little slower here, girl. And then and then Louis shows up. I was like, hey, what's up? It's me again. Did I scare you? Because he was going to touch her with his little werewolf vampire arm. And she's like, no, and stuff. It's like, hey, how about I get you some coffee or whatever? She's like, no, I'm waiting for my boyfriend here and stuff. And he's like, he don't know what he has. All right. And then he's all like, hey, I will be back here. Let me make you a deal. I'll be back here at 9:00. If your boyfriend don't show up, let me get you a coffee. So he's trying to flirt really hard with her.
That's the way you do it, though, right?
You do it, brother.
If he doesn't show up, then you swoop right in and get her a coffee.
Yep, that's the way you do it, man. So Charlie actually does show up, and when he first walks in there, is like this is right when Alex gets done reading the book. He's like, "Did you read that whole book?" She's like, "Yes," and it was actually very fantastic. You were right. I was like, you could tell this is written by a guy.
For sure.
You know what I mean? There ain't no woman out there going to tell a man he's right. All right. That's for sure. All right. So they're pretty much hanging out, talking a little bit about the Dracula movie. This is when we have Charlie. He's kind of like not Charlie, but this is when we have Peter. He's kind of in the dumps because he had the show taken over from the vampire girl. Yeah. And he's sitting at the bar and everything. And this is when we see the live broadcast of Fright Night airing. And at first, Peter was like, what's going on here? I thought my show was like canceled and stuff. All right. And this is when we see that we have the station guy on there. He's been seduced by the vampire queen herself. And this is when he introduces her to the show. And she is now the new host of Fright Night. And she does a little dance.
Yes. That's fantastic.
I was like, you know what? I would have fucking fired that Peter guy too. Get on out of here, brother. Right? This is 1989, brother. We don't want your fucking 1982 shit.
No.
We want some sex on here now, brother.
Yep.
Bro, that part when she fucking had her eyes and the blood coming out of her mouth, I was like, yeah,
that was great.
Great. I thought, like I said, she did a great job in her roles in here. So I think she did a really good job.
Yeah, she was one of the most impressive things about this. I feel like she really carried this movie. Like this movie would have sucked if she hadn't been in it.
Yeah. You know, I thought the Peter guy actually did a lot better in this movie than he did the first movie. Like I thought he took the role a little bit more serious.
True.
I did not mind the girl who played Alex either. I thought she did a pretty good like heroine kind of girl.
Yeah.
The only guy that I just didn't like was Charlie, to be honest with you. But I guess like you're right. His character it was made to be like this, so it kind of makes sense.
He's an unlikable character.
Yeah. So when this all happens, Peter's just like, that bitch ain't taking my show. So he goes to the studio and he tries to stake her on live air.
Yes. That's great. That's fantastic.
And then they arrest his ass. I was like, come on, man. Don't be hurting my boy Peter like that. All right. So now during this, we can see that Louis in the background and he's all like, fuck, you know, like he wants to take Charlie out so he can get Alex.
Right.
All right. So he kind of corners Alex, and then eventually Alex screams for Charlie, and then they see that now that he has turned into a vampire. And I guess something that she read in Dracula, she took some roses and stuffed it in his mouth, and that hurts a vampire. Yeah, you never done that before?
No, well, I've never had a lot of dealings with vampires in general, but I don't really remember that from the book, but it's been a really long time since I read it. That's really cool, though. I like the idea of the roses in the mouth, though. That's kind of cool.
So now we're seeing that both parties basically get arrested. All right. So Peter goes down to the station and he's going crazy about wanting to kill this vampire that took over a show. The cops feel sorry for him, but they sent him to the nut house. And we have a scene where when Alex and Charlie, when they were attacking Louis and putting the roses in his mouth, he's freaking out. He jumps out the window. So basically the cops come in and it looks like these two kids were fucking up the library. All right. So they get sent to jail. All right. So during this, all right. The vampire queen, Ren, she bails Charlie out. Okay. And she takes him. And she basically takes him back to the lair, okay? And then we have Alex being bailed out by Mr. Harrison, the therapist, okay?
Yeah.
And then this is also too when we see Peter's at the nut house, and that's when we meet the crazy the nut guy who recognizes him for the TV, okay? So when it comes to Alex, she is the therapist is taking her home, but they stop at a track. All right. And she's trying to ask, like, you know, what's going on with Charlie? She's like, well, Charlie got bailed out.
Right.
All right. And she's like, what happened to Peter's? Oh, he got arrested. So now Alex is trying to figure out how to get to both of them. And she's trying to explain to her therapist, like, yeah, these vampires, they're like fucking real and everything. Like we seen them. All right. So, and she's like, why is this train taking so long? I don't think there's going to be a train here. And then becomes the biggest swerve in 1989 history, where the Mr. Harrison was a vampire the whole time.
Yep. Shocking.
And then, like, not only is he a vampire in the hidden, even though I'm pretty sure he was doing their therapy sessions in the daytime. But also, too, he had to be the worst vampire I've ever seen in my life. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. He was terrible.
Like, he had Alex whipped his ass. She got out of the car. He comes out of a crate for some reason. And then, like, he's going to attack her, but she just, like, breaks a train track of wood so easy. He knew that she had some wood in her hand, and he comes like running at her chest first. Please stab me.
Yeah.
And then she stabs her, right? And he's all like, well, you didn't get all the way through, but you did get a job. Here, let me help you. And then he just kills himself. I mean,
that's kind of weird. Like I kind of really don't understand. I mean, this is supposed to be comedy relief.
Comedy. Huh.
Yeah, this is comedy. Very
so
funny.
Look at the fat nerdy vampire. It's funny.
Mhm.
All right. I thought this part was lame. This is like the only lame part of the movie was that shit.
Mm.
So now Peter's in his nut house. All right.
Yes.
And Alex decides to try to go. She goes to the nut house, but she steals all of Mr. Harrison's medical cards. She's gonna pretend like she's Peter's doctor and get him out of there. So it works for a little bit. You know, her flashing around her cards, pretending like she's a doctor and stuff. But the main head nurse knew she was full of shit. So eventually, when she gets Peter, like, yeah, we gotta get out of here. The nurse figures out, oh, she was just faking it because she found like Mr. Harrison's cards. Okay,
right.
So she's about to attack him, everything. But this is when the mental patient metal dude comes in there and knocks them all out and says, "All right, coast is clear. Let's go kill those vampires." Even though he doesn't come along, he stays. So now we have Alex and Peter. They race to Rain's lair to rescue Charlie, which is the lair was the apartment.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and basically here's the deal. So Rain is going with Bella's help. Is going. By the way, Bella's the roller skater. I think I said her name wrong earlier, but Bella's the roller skater one with the cool looking 80s hair. So Rain's help is basically she is going to make Charlie into a immortal vampire.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a reason why. She is going to make him into an immortal vampire so she could torture him for eternity.
Interesting.
Because, you know, he killed her brother.
Right.
I'm thinking like, I mean, like, how would you torture a vampire? Like, I guess like you can like maybe like cut off the limbs and bury them so they can't do nothing. Like, how would you like torture a vampire?
No, I think that she's just going to have him under control and make his life miserable.
Yeah, I guess.
As I think that's what she means.
So now we have a montage, okay, of Alex and Peter getting Peter's vampire gear ready. And every time they would pick out a piece of gear, he would say what movie it's from.
Yeah, I was about to say it's all gear from his movies, which apparently really work and kill vampires.
Yeah. So one of them was a red cloak.
Mm.
One of them was a fancy a fancy looking cross with jewels on them. They got some rope, and then they got like he was making some like spears, like some spear like.
Didn't he get like a crossbow too?
Yeah, like a crossbow things. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're getting all that stuff. They're not too sure about this, but they're doing it. So they're basically they're sneaking across to the apartment by going on the ledge. It's like, brother, you ain't gonna get me on there. Fuck Charlie. What do you ever do for me besides having that stupid Mustang?
Exactly.
All right. By the way, the Mustang, if everybody listened to the review from the first one, he actually painted his Mustang, but he painted it some shitty looking green. I mean, it was better than the spots he had, but still sucked.
Better than what it looked like before, but it's still pretty rough now. Puke green color.
So now Charlie is done getting his blood sucked. All right.
Yeah.
And this is when we see his friends there, Richie. Because remember, also too, there was a newscast saying that Richie was dead, that they found him dead and everything. But then Richie shows up and Charlie's like, how are you still alive? He's like, well, you know, they turned me into a vampire like they're going to do you. He's like, and Richie was like, don't worry about it, bro. Like, I know she wants to like torture and shit, but she'll forget about it for a couple years. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, how did you trick me and stuff? He's like, he put makeup basically. So he was already dead and turned to a vampire the night of the vampire party, but he put some makeup on it to hide the bite marks.
Sure. Right? It's that easy.
Yeah. So this is when Alex and Peter come in. They try to rescue Charlie. Remember, Charlie at this time is pretty much like a useless. He's like, you know, can barely move or anything. And then Richie comes in and they all look at each other funny. And then Peter grabs the holy water hose and starts hosing Richie down, and then he starts melting.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, some 80s melting.
I love that. Funny. Yeah.
So that part was fun. So now they're trying to get them out of there. So they basically start, when they're getting out of here, they kind of defeat each gang member.
Mhm.
Okay. The first one that they actually defeat was Louis. All right, so Louis shows back up in his werewolf vampire form.
Mhm.
All right, they're fighting him off a little bit, but they eventually get him outside, and then I believe it was Alex that actually shoots him through the window, and he falls all the way down to the pool area.
Mhm.
All right, and he dies by saying like, what do you say, like great shot or something like that, like fantastic shot.
Yeah, kind of like it's still very Lost Boys-esque, where they're like got the goofy
Defiant
things that they say. Yeah,
defiant to the end.
Mm.
Then we have I thought Bella's one was kind of weird. Like they were gonna get attacked by Bella and everything, but she's coming on her roller skates and they just fucking wrap her around the deadly red cloak, and then she like melts like she's in the microwave or something.
I thought that was cool. I love the way that looked.
Yeah. But before all that happened, I just want to bring that one up because it was pretty fun. But before all happens, basically, they're trying to get out of there, but they get cornered by Rain, Bello, and Bosework. Okay.
Yes.
And the basically Rain has almost control of Charlie. Okay. So Charlie kind of has, at the time, he has like the spear gun and stuff. And he's pointing it at Rain first, but then Rain makes him point it at Alex. Okay.
Yeah.
And he has the gun on Alex, and you can see that Charlie's eyes are turning to yellow because he's turning into a vampire. Okay.
Right.
So they're yellow, everything. And she's trying to make him shoot Alex, but he like kind of refuses to. And he actually has enough courage to drop the gun. And what he does is he takes Bella's huge nails, and he takes the nails and he plummets it into Bosework's stomach. And those nails are so deadly that Bosework's stomach gets cut, and out comes all the bugs he's been eating for his whole life out of his stomach, bro.
I thought that was awesome. Yeah.
All the bugs turn into maggots.
Yeah, so that's so weird. Like all the bugs just pop out of him after he gets his stomach cut open. But it was a cool, gross scene, and I like that. Have
we ever had death by nails before?
We've never had that on the show. Never had death by nails. It's the first time. It's a retro blood first. Yeah.
There he goes. I thought the scene looked cool, but it just the setup was a little wonky to me.
Yeah.
And then this is the scene that I actually like the Bella's death scene the best. I thought that scene was really clever because that reminded me of something that maybe would have been on like Castlevania or something, like some cool little like coat, you know what I mean? Like some of those like, capes that have like magic powers to them and stuff like that. I could dig that because when they wrapped her around it and she like melted everything, I was like, that's kind of cool. I like that part. So then during this, after they kill everybody, basically Bella, or not Bella, but Rain, she's kind of attacking him a little bit. But then she's also trying to get back into her coffin. Okay, but they all have to stop her, so they're going to go down to her coffin, which is in the down, I guess, depths of the hotel that they're staying in. All right. So, and then Rain, she kind of turns into something like you would see out of like remember that Dusk Till Dawn movie?
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Yeah,
something like that. Like they're kind of like a gargoyle looking vampire. You know
I have a feeling that From Dusk Till Dawn was influenced by this movie.
Probably, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, like the way a lot of the looks. Yeah. This definitely seems like they saw this movie and said, I want to do something kind of like that.
Yeah. With a lot more of a harder edge, of course.
Oh, for sure. Of course.
So they have a plan now. So Peter is going to so basically, Charlie and Alex are to go down to try to like their plan is, the source of a vampire is their coffin. You know what I mean? So they're going to try to go down there and stop Rain from going back into her coffin, while Peter's going to go up there and kind of find him like an escape route through the roof or something. All right. So Peter tries to go to this one place, but that's when we see that Rain turn into her gargoyle vampire form. And then during this stuff, Alex and Charlie put some sort of like. What did they put in the coffin? It was like some sort of like
No, it's those communion cookie things. The things you eat at communion. That's what it is. Whatever those are called. That's what that was.
So this is when we start seeing that these little tricks that Rain said doesn't work on her are start working on her. The communion chicks are working on her. That little cross with the rubies start affecting her a little bit.
Yep.
So now Rain goes back there. She corners both of them. She corners Alex and she corners Charlie. All right, in her gargoyle form, and then she sees that Peter is leaving, and she's like, "Yes, I guess he was a coward this whole time. He's leaving." And then she's about to go attack both Alex, all right, and Charlie, but Peter goes and grabs a mirror that was broken, takes part of it, and does a reflection gimmick. And he's really
sun,
good of the sun, because he noticed earlier when he got knocked down that the sun's coming through. So he's gonna put this. He basically puts the sun right on her, perfectly. No problems. That was a reflection, no problem. And he starts melting Rain, and then Rain gets melted.
At first, I didn't like this, but the more I think about it, I kind of like it. I kind of like the way he's using the mirror to reflect the sunlight to kill her. Yeah. Like a laser beam kind of. That was kind of cool. I thought that was kind of cool. When I first watched it, I did not like it, but I liked it the more I thought about it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess it was a pretty big size mirror. So I guess you could do it, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, how much sunlight does it take to kill a vampire?
Yeah, I thought it had to be like a lot.
I don't know.
I mean, every movie is different, so.
Yeah, every movie is different.
So after all this happened, Charlie and Alex are joking about their experience, acknowledging, of course, nobody would ever believe what they had been through. All right, and then as they embrace everything, the sound of a bat flying over suggests that the vampire threat may not be over. But of course,
maybe not, because we don't get a third movie.
Yeah.
However, Tom Holland was supposedly in 2017 was writing a Fright Night 3 novel.
There you go.
So he was going to write a book, and then he supposedly was getting the rights back he was going to make another movie, but it was going to ignore Fright Night 2 and be a sequel to Fright Night 1. So, but none of those have ever come out, so that's probably not happening.
Yeah, all we got is the Fright Night and Fright Night 2 from the 2000s.
Yeah.
So we'll see if they ever try to get some more out there. But that has been Fright Night 2. That was a fun movie, man. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
I liked this a lot. I liked it a whole lot.
I think you could have done a good franchise out of this movie. I think you could have done at least 4 movies, I would say. If everything was good. I mean, obviously a lot of production stuff and, bad press and there's so much stuff that went on with why I think they probably had all the purpose to make a third movie in the 90s. All right. But because of all the tragedy and all the stuff that happened, I guess it just never
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things where they just they were interested in doing it for a little bit, and then they moved on to something else, and then they just never go back to it. That's how a lot of things are, especially in Hollywood, but a lot of things in general, they just never could get the interest back in it. Plus the second movie did so poorly in the box office that
this wasn't a whole lot there until later on. So
correct.
But this vampire month is going to keep rolling on because we got a bunch of ones for you guys this month. It's going to be pretty fun. All right.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
So the schedule for the vampire movies this month. Up next, we're going to keep the trend going where we talk about one anime.
Yeah.
All right.
This is becoming a tradition for us.
Yes, it has been. What did we do? We did Vampire Hunter D was the first one.
Yeah. And then we did that Japanese anime about Dracula.
Yeah. Which is a wild one.
That was pretty cool. That was awesome.
And then the next, we're going to be doing Vampire Princess Miyu.
Yep. Technically it's a TV series, but it's only 4 episodes.
Yeah. Apparently you can find it on the Peacock.
On the Peacock. Yeah.
And then we're doing a movie that I actually wanted to do for a while, even though it looks very ridiculous. Like very European artsy shit.
Okay.
All right. Nosferatu in Venice. Yeah.
So it's a sequel to the Nosferatu with Klaus Kinski.
There you go.
And Klaus Kinski is in this too.
So this is a sequel to Nosferatu. All right.
Yes.
Like you said, but it's more European.
even more European than Nosferatu, apparently.
More elegant, brother.
Yeah.
All right.
We're going to have to get berets or something for this.
We're wearing suits to the review.
Right. Yeah.
All right. And then, like we said, we're going to be adding 90s movies here and there, not all the time. But we have to do at least one vampire month talking about arguably the greatest vampire movie and story ever told. Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yeah. This is going to be good. I'm excited. I'm excited about this.
Can you believe that movie came out in 1994? I mean, that movie is a classic, man. That's like one of the most like historic movies ever.
Yeah, when you told me about that, I was like, there's no way that movie came out in the 90s, but it did.
Yeah, it did.
30 years ago.
I could not believe, like, if you look at the 90s, when it comes to vampire movies, there's a fucking shit ton of them out there. I could not believe it, man.
And I don't really remember that. I mean, was there a vampire boom in the 90s? I don't really remember that, but there's a ton of 90s vampire movies.
The only vampire boom that I knew about in the 90s was another one that's arguably one of the other most famous vampire movies of all time. Interview with the Vampire came out.
That's true, yeah.
I think that was around like 97. You know what I mean? 97, 98.
Yeah, I'm trying to think back if there was if vampires were like super popular, but I don't really remember that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously those two movies were inspired by books. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
but I mean, just movies and by themselves, I mean, it was pretty legendary. You know what I mean?
I agree. Yes, absolutely.
I'd probably say Dracula is probably a little bit more. The Bram Stoker's Dracula is probably a little bit more legendary than Interview with the Vampire. But hey, Interview with the Vampire at the time in the later 90s, that was a very big hit.
It was a huge hit. Yeah, a huge hit.
Multiple awards and everything. So we'll probably do that one sometime later down the road. But yeah, I think we got a pretty fun schedule.
Yeah, this is going to be a good month.
So yeah.
It's going to be the best vampire month yet.
I know. It's going to be pretty wild. So that's how it looks out, everybody. This is going to be a pretty crazy month with personal stuff, with my traveling and everything, but we'll get everything done. That's how
we'll do it. We always do. Well, usually.
But Alison, to get us on out of here for the podcast listeners, what Cure song should we play for everybody?
Let's play the track Disintegration.
Ooh, Disintegration.
Just like Ring got disintegrated.
Just like she got disintegrated.
By the sunlight.
By the sunlight. Come on. Just like Bella got disintegrated by a cloak. Just like Richie got disintegrated by holy water out of a hose.
Yeah, out of a hose. It's amazing that you have that much holy water. That it can come out of a hose.
Yeah, brother. You don't just holy water.
I guess I should start.
Just in case.
In case I ran into a group of vampires.
Yeah, there you go. But everybody, we'll be back here next week on the Retro Blood talking some anime. Vampire Princess Mayu.
Yeah.
James Kline, J. Alison. We'll see y'all later.
See you guys.